All right, let's get into it. We're about to pull back the curtain on a system that you interact with every single day, but you probably never actually see. This is the story of logistics, that incredible, invisible network that keeps our entire world moving. Think about it. You see a pair of sneakers you love online, you click buy, and then, like magic, a couple of days later, they're sitting on your doorstep. But what on earth happens in between? That one little click kicks off this massive global dance of trucks, ships, planes, and some seriously smart tech. So let's follow that journey and see just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Okay, so before we can track our sneakers, we've got to understand the world they travel through. We need to get our bearings. So what exactly is this system we call logistics? Now, this isn't just about moving a box from point A to point B. I mean, that's part of it, sure, but the real magic is in words like strategic planning and optimization. We're talking about 1,000 tiny decisions. Which truck is best? What's the fastest sea route? Which warehouse should this go to? All adding up to find the smartest, quickest, and most efficient path. It's really the brains of the whole operation. You've probably heard logistics and supply chain used like they're the same thing, right? Well, they're not. Here's the easiest way to think about it. The supply chain is the whole story, from the raw materials in the ground all the way to you unboxing the final product. And logistics? That's the super important, action-packed chapter about getting all that stuff moving and storing it in the right place at exactly the right time. All right, let's go all the way back to the very beginning of our sneaker's life. Because long before a single piece of fabric is cut, the logistics plan is already running at full speed. This is step one. The company making the sneakers needs rubber for the soles, say from Thailand. They need fabric for the uppers from Taiwan, and maybe the laces come from China. Procurement planning is like putting together a massive global shopping list with a really tight deadline. It's all about coordinating with tons of different suppliers to make sure all those parts show up at the factory door right when they're needed and, of course, for the best possible price. So, all that rubber and fabric arrives, and it goes into what's called inventory. And this is where things get tricky. It's all about balance. If you have too little, the whole factory production line just grinds to a halt. That costs a fortune. But if you have too much, you're just tying up money and materials that are sitting around collecting dust. It's this constant tightrope walk between having just enough and way too much. So how do the pros master that tightrope walk? Well, with a seriously clever strategy called just-in-time, or JIT. Get this. A truck carrying the rubber soles pulls up to the factory at the exact moment the assembly line is ready for them. No waiting around, no need for massive storage space. It is pure, uncut efficiency. But as you can imagine, it requires almost perfect symphony-level timing from every single person and company involved. And just like that, our sneakers are made. They're boxed up, they look great, and they're ready to go. But wait, the factory is in Vietnam, and you, the customer, are in Ohio. So now comes the big move, the globe-trotting part of the journey. Your sneakers don't just take one ride home, they take a whole bunch of them. This is what we call multimodal transport. First, a truck takes them from the factory to a port. Then, a gigantic container ship carries them across the ocean. After that, a train might haul them hundreds of miles inland, before one last truck takes them to a distribution center. Each mode of transport is specifically chosen to be the most efficient for its leg of the trip. So you might be wondering, who on earth organizes this complex global relay race? Well, that is the job of a freight forwarder. The best way to think of them is as the ultimate travel agent, but for cargo. They don't own the ships or the trucks. Instead, they're the masterminds who figure out the best routes, deal with all the complicated customs paperwork, and basically choreograph the entire dance between carriers to make sure the journey is totally seamless. Now, in this whole global journey, every single shipment needs official papers. For our container of sneakers, the most important one is called the bill of lading. You can just think of it as the cargo's passport. It's a receipt, it's a contract, and it's proof of ownership all rolled into one document. And without it, that container of sneakers isn't going anywhere. It's the piece of paper that literally unlocks global trade. Okay, after weeks on a ship and on the rails, our sneakers have finally landed in the right country. Their next stop is one of the most technologically advanced and absolutely critical hubs in the entire network, the modern warehouse. Now, if you're picturing a big, dark building where boxes just sit on shelves for months, you need to update that image. A modern warehouse is more like a beehive. It is a hub of constant, incredibly managed activity. It's not really about long-term storage. It's all about flow. This is where our sneakers get sorted, organized, and prepped for that final part of their adventure. Hey, remember that buy button you clicked at the very beginning? This is where that action lands. Your order pings into the warehouse's system. Instantly, an employee or, increasingly, a robot zips through the aisles to pick your exact size and color. It gets packed, it gets a label, and it's on a truck before you know it. That whole lightning-fast process, that's order fulfillment. The package is on a local delivery truck. We are so close. We're on the home stretch. But believe it or not, this last little part of the journey is by far the trickiest and most expensive puzzle in the entire world of logistics. So why is this last mile so ridiculously hard and expensive? Well, think of it like this. Moving 10,000 pairs of sneakers across an ocean on one giant ship is incredibly efficient on a per-item basis. But delivering one single box to one single house, now you have one driver in one truck dealing with traffic, trying to find parking, all for your one package. It is a logistical nightmare that makes this final step the most expensive part of the whole shebang. So how do companies manage all this last-mile chaos? The answer is data. That tracking number you're constantly refreshing, it's being powered by GPS and barcode scans at every single handover point. For you, it's about peace of mind, but for the logistics company, it's crucial data that gives them total visibility, helping them manage their fleet of trucks and reducing the risk of a package getting lost. The sneakers have arrived. You open the box, you try them on, success. But in today's world, the story doesn't actually end at your front door. The logistics network has to be ready for whatever might happen next. Because what if the sneakers don't fit? You just send them back, right? Well, that process is called reverse logistics, and it is literally the entire supply chain running in reverse. It's the process of getting that one box from your house all the way back to a warehouse, getting it inspected, and putting it back into inventory to be sold again. And as online shopping explodes, this has become a huge, complicated, and very expensive problem for companies to solve. So, with all these millions of moving parts, how do we even know if this massive, complex system is doing a good job? Well, it all boils down to a few key questions. Did your package arrive when they said it would? Was it the exact thing you ordered? And was it in perfect condition? And, behind the scenes, did the company manage all of this without spending too much money? Every single package is like a final exam, and these are the metrics that determine the grade for the entire network. So there you have it, the invisible network. A global system of planning, technology, and sheer human effort, all brought to life by your single click. It's a machine that was built to meet our ever-growing expectations for speed and for convenience. But as we start to demand things even faster, I'm talking same day or even same hour, the pressure on this network just grows and grows. Which leaves us with the billion-dollar question. What comes next? Is it going to be delivery drones, fleets of self-driving trucks, or is it something we can't even imagine yet? The only thing we know for sure is that this network will never, ever stop evolving.